I've never seen Star Wars, so I don't know. No.
Well, you've never seen Star Wars?
I've never seen Star Wars, Star Trek. I've never listened to Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson. I've never been to a Dallas Stars game.
Yeah.
I don't even really look at the Stars because I'm from Brooklyn.
You're not a movie guy.
I'm not a movie guy or a TV show guy. I am a TV show guy. I'm a history. I
know that.
Documentary guy. Like I just watched on Netflix the new Tyrant show, How to Become a Tyrant. Yeah. And guess what? Guess who the #1 people are in How to Become Tyrants? Guess who #1?
Who?
North Korea. They go through all the countries and all the leaders, the Hitlers, the Stalins, the Idi Amins, how they became a tyrant and how they lost it. How they became a tyrant and how they lost it. The only one who has not lost it still to this day is the Un family. You know.
Well, that's interesting that you would point at me when I'm South Korean.
No, it's the same stuff.
It's not the same stuff.
It's just an imaginary line.
It's not the same stuff.
No, it's the same. You are North Korean.
I'm not North Korean.
You are, because you were sent, but you don't realize some people, what they do is they have intel. They make you make believe you're South Korean and American, but you're really North Korean. You're North Korean. You're Bobby. You're North Korean.
Okay.
The reason why you get all these films and all these things, and you're like, oh, I'm almost 50 years old and I'm getting all these things. That's because Kim Jong-un is making these things happen. I never said that, but my point is that
because
you're going to get to become like the big star, and it's all North Korean propaganda.
No, because I'm trying to think of my family heritage and where my dad came from.
He came from North Korea.
No, absolutely. I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you why. No, because my grandmother. Right? Here's how I know you're wrong. My grandmother was paralyzed from the neck down.
What happened? She got the dick?
Stroke.
Oh, the stroke.
The stroke, right?
Stroke. Where did she get the stroke?
She got a stroke in Seoul, Korea, where she lives.
Wow, and paralyzed from the neck down.
Yeah, and she was like that for like 35 years. In fact, one time, she had welts all over. She had welts all over her body. She had welts, like bleeding,
like
sores.
Mosquitoes or something.
I don't know. Well, my dad goes, why? Because my brother and I must have been like maybe 9. My brother was 6. And he came up to us and he goes, why is she bleeding? You know? Why she have scar all over her body? And we go, we don't know. And so the next day, he comes in the room and there was, my grandparents had these this kind of vase with these like weird branches, right? Okay. With it was like some sort of, tree, I don't know what it was, but it's for deck decor. But my brother and I had pulled them out and we were whipping my grandmother. You know what I mean? Just whipping her, and she's paralyzed from the neck down, so she's just smiling like that, right? And you did it, you know what I mean? And I remember just, you know what I mean, like getting so angry. My point though is that but that was in Seoul, Korea, so that was in North Korea when that event happened.
Well, what do you think about North Korea? Like, do people in South Korea? Like, do they think there could ever be peace in Pyongyang, Yingyang? North Korea?
Well, I mean, you can't... Listen, they have... Every citizen in North Korea is essentially in the army. They will fight. They're so indoctrinated and just... They're all gonna fight to the end.
But it must be, because it's such a big country, there must be like, how do they live? There must be apartment buildings. Are there any podcasts in North Korea? Is anybody doing a podcast? You're not allowed to.
No.
There's got to be somebody underground that has a Zoom recorder. No. Somebody had to smuggle a Zoom recorder.
South Koreans, you know, they take, you know, balloons. You know that, right?
No.
Yeah, they take flyers. Sometimes they put like little, for the computer, little USBs and stuff in these little packages. And they have these little tiny hot air balloons. I'm not kidding you. And they'll put them up in the air. It'll float toward North Korea. And then they'll take the fucking. I don't know why USBs. They don't have computers, but if they did have one, they'd be like, oh my god, I got one, right? And they could play like Bad Boys 2 or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and they're like, oh, America's great.
Do you think most North Korean people know like what's going on in the rest of the world, or because my question is, do you think actually North Korean people might be happier than South Korean people because North Korean people don't know anything else because they live in the hermit kingdom and they're shunned from the outside world?
Well, it's funny because, and I don't know if this is true or not, but my perception of them is this: years ago, you know, I go to these China, these Asian, how do I say it?
What?
These groups. There's a groups in Hollywood called CAPE.
Okay.
It's basically our NAACP, but for Hollywood and stuff.
Chinese, Asian, Pacific.
Yeah,
ethnic.
when you go, there's Samoans and weird ones, you know what I mean? Yeah. And But you go, it's like, you know, like
I've had enough of that, by the way.
what?
Just the Asians hate. Just shut up. We've all had
What do you mean?
enough
What do you
of
mean?
it.
We'll talk about that in a second. Let
Okay.
me go through this, and that just made me mad.
Okay.
That made me really mad.
Okay.
And so it's like, we'll talk about this.
Okay.
All right. So
Let's go.
but I was at one of these years ago. I was in one of these groups, and there was this Korean dude, and he spoke broken English. He goes, "Hey, dude, I like a comedy or whatever," and I go, "Oh, that's pretty good." And he tried to be like urban. Sometimes when like Asians from over there, they go, "Yo, yo, yo," you know, they, "Yo, yo, yo, dog," you know what I mean? That type of guy thing. Yeah. And I was like, "What's up? What's up?" And he goes, "I'm doing a documentary right now about cannibalism." I go, "Cannibalism where?" North Korea. So he explains to me. He goes, because they can't get meat in North Korea, and there's so many orphans in the street. I don't even know, because if you Google it, I can't find anything.
Because there's no pictures or anything.
Yeah. So this is what he told me. He goes, there's so many orphans on the street, and they get hunted for their meat.
Oh my God.
Right. So it's like, you know, I wanted to do like a little like Annie, but North Korean version. Right? And then if you did an Annie North Korean version, you would not have to cast a bunch of kids. Just have Annie running for her life.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think the rest of the orphans are in people's bellies.
Yeah.
Right? But you can still have the same songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomato. Hopefully I'll be alive, tomato. You know what I mean? And they're like, so that's scary, right?
So what would you do? You think though, if you were in North Korea, could you eat my question to you is, could you eat a baby?
No, well, I think I could, because this is an actual documented thing where, so there was a couple in North Korea, and this is actually, you can read articles about it. And I think the woman was working for the government. And so when she had to go to a different city to go on a business trip, she just told her husband to like, just take care of the kids. And when she got back, he had eaten, I think, the 2 girls.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then the government came, they lined him up against a wall, and they just shot him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I think that for people who want to eat kids or pedophiles too, I don't think there's a cure for that.
I think they're just 2 different things.
No.
I think eating kids and pedophilia is 2 different things.
No, but I mean, if you're
I think eating kids, right, is you have to be so hungry. Like, let's suppose you were really hungry, and one of your kids is not a good kid.
Yeah.
Right? He's always drawing crayons on the wall.
I think
right.
The thing is too, like, or it could be that you're really hungry, or you could have to say, how committed are you to your keto diet? Because if you're in a place where there's only bread and carbs, and the only thing is to eat your kid to get the meat, would you do it?